staying with us. I've really enjoyed the ladies' contribution, but we've had interesting perspective from callers, especially the last caller that spoke about punishment fit for the occasion, with like a punishment that the person will know that this is the reason for your punishment and it connects with the person. Very important. But we want to talk about bullying, because the video we watched was that the boy was being disciplined for bullying, and many people were saying he's the father of the year and he should get the award. So how can parents deal with their children? How else can parents deal with their children when their children are the ones bullying other people?
Okay, so
yes, you were.
So we need to understand that we live in a world where we're all not the same. We live in a world of good and evil. We live in a world where there are criminals, there are people killing people every day, there are people abducting other people. So, what kind of children do you think these people are raising? Do you understand? So, first of all, let's make that clear. And when you are one of the good ones, the good parents, and then you have a child that is, you know, exhibiting certain characteristics that is not that is not the value in your home, then you have to intervene early. Most times, parents, because they pet their children, you start making excuses for your child because you love that child. We are all guilty of making excuses for our loved ones, where you can see that something is going wrong, but you just say, maybe the child is going through something, or maybe stress, or maybe the child is sick, and you start making excuses. You need to intervene early as a parent. And then you need to also teach children conflict resolution skills. It's never early, even within your, like for parents that even have more than one children, or even even if you're an only child and you have cousins, parents should teach you that in life there must be conflict. Like growing up, my mom used to always say something, and I used to wonder, like, why is she saying this thing? She always say, in this life, everybody will fail you, including me. The only person that will not fail you is God. I'll say, she said that this woman born me so. Why this woman always telling me, how can my own mother tell me that she will fail me? It's only God, right? I didn't understand it till I became an adult, and I realized that everybody will fail you. Most times you might think that you want your mom to support certain decisions and she doesn't. Then you not say, you now remember that thing. No. Do you understand? And it's not like they don't love you. So teaching people children conflict resolution like that. Life, there must be conflicts. You quarrel with even people that you love. And when that happens, what do you do? Do you just scatter everywhere? Do you just fight? Do you just bully? Do you not start thinking evil thoughts on how to inflict pain on the other person?
Do
you understand?
Really
No, but that's why I say we start teaching a child from when the child is okay.
Very,
take the call and take the call. I'm not yet done. Yes, please.
Reverend Dominic has called into the show. It's been a while. Happy New Year, Reverend Dominic. Welcome to the show.
Well, Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year to all the ladies.
Happy New Year, sir.
Let me say this: we are sitting on a very keg of gunpowder in our nation at this time. Values have eroded. But there's something that bothers me a lot. Whenever you ladies or other people discuss about disciplined children, and we switch it to this point that we try to destroy them. There's a different thing by disciplining a child and telling a child that he or she have done a wrong thing by some action. But the different thing when you keep quiet and talk and talk and talk. I saw what you are trying to discuss now. The man shaved his son's head or daughter, I don't know, because of his bullying another person. To me, that's a good discipline, so that you will know how to respect each other. He know how to respect his friends or his colleagues. But Doctor, I want to take you off from this particular point to another point, which is the same thing. The teacher that was bullying a boy or a girl in school that day has been suspended and thrown into cricket to the 18th of February. Doctor, are we not killing a fly with a sledgehammer? Yes, the woman did wrong very well. But for her to spend almost more than 1 month in minimum prison or maximum prison for doing that is another wrong thing. Because two wrongs cannot correct one, issue. Now let me say this, Doctor. I've argued this in many fora. The age we throw our children to soldiers to train. Doctor, when I was growing up, I remember my mother would take me to school and they take my hand to my ear. If my hand did not touch my ear, they would not have been me to that school. I remember vividly. My mother did it 2-3 times till my hand touched my ear. What are they trying to do? British people How do you trust the best bureaucracy and education system? There's a time a child is supposed to have parents' education. There's a time a child should have a student that got teacher education. It's two things. My mother flogged me very well for not doing well. Nobody recorded it, and it makes me good. But what I'm trying to say is that we are throwing our children today too early to strangers. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. I went to a school I was angry with. They take a child of about 9 months, and when they took this child to what they call creche, they will give her, a sleeping drug. When you give a child a sleeping drug and he sleeps all through, from morning till 6 p.m., when the mother will come and take her, he makes his brain dull. And we are doing all this in the name of Western education. I have traveled back. I have pastors from America who are crying eyes wide today because they cannot discipline their children. We in Africa, who are teaching their children, we want to be the people who are in pain, who are in shame. In America today, you never say a child is a boy or a girl. Is it a nation we want for ourselves? That woman did wrong.
Thank you so much, Reverend Dominic. I get you. That topic was something we're still going to go into. That's why we're moving into bullying, and from there we'll talk about the teacher. It's part of the topics we were going to address today as well. But Reverend Dominic has taken us into plenty areas.
So can I address that? What he has advocated is very unpopular right now because everybody's hating the teacher. But there's a Child's Rights Act in Lagos that even the criminal code in Lagos criminalizes this. And I was forced to represent someone who had done something like that. The remand was remand. If the court orders it, that's what is in the books. And that's what our lawmakers have passed on our behalf, which is law. What is wrong?
Sledgehammer for
it's not sledgehammer for
it's legal.
Okay. It's what is legal because you have just assaulted an individual, and it's special when you have assaulted somebody more vulnerable to you, which the law must rise to defend the person. In this case, it's not a sledgehammer. It is the book, and when we now negate the book, because we are forgiving the person, we want to understand the person, then we permit it, which is why it's more. My child had suffered some form of this, exactly something like this, and not only him, almost all the toddlers in his preschool class. So it is wrong. It should be deterred in the
There are actually two separate issues
ways
that he raised. The issue of toddlers
maturity.
being given, maturity of
Before
children
you get
before
to
getting
school.
into school is a totally different issue
full
from
topic.
the bullying of a teacher.
full day
But
topic.
Amaka was talking about
different
dealing
ways.
with bullies early. Parents
yes.
should deal with bullies early. I had to write it because I feel it was very important
Yes.
because they show they
Okay.
already show their traits early.
when they come here.
Okay, so you were saying something like how do we fix, like how do we teach our kids, where to recognize bully when they see it, or how
To
they
not
should
be bullies.
to not be bullies. Okay, so I want to say something that most parents, we are doing this parenting differently. We are not doing it from the way, the way I've been brought up. I'm trying to bring up, the way my mom taught me. I want to pass it on to my kids. But this generation now is now different. They're not telling us to sit down and talk. Sometimes I will sit down, I'll talk, but at the end of the day, I'll see that talk is not really doing anything. And I have to use my hand. Okay, so, but this is it. You teach your child that, okay, when another child does this to you, just keep quiet, don't say anything, or go and report to the teacher, or go and say this, go and say that. There are plenty of times that they will do something to a child, the child will go and report to the teacher, and the teacher, most times they will want to do something about it because some schools don't discipline kids or they don't hit children. It's not allowed. So what they do is they will call the parent of that child and tell the parent that, look, this is what your child has done. Can you come to school? Some parents don't even show up. So at the end of the day, that child is in that school. And most of these schools, they are money-making schools these days. So now there's nothing like suspension. There's nothing like expulsion anymore. So they will keep that child, and that child will keep bullying all the other kids in the school. So when you now look at that,
is with the it's not with the school, it's with the parents.
It's with the parents. So you see, like that child that they hit up to 20 times, she must have been taught at home that, look, when somebody does something like that, just don't retaliate. But me, personally, I'll teach my child that, look, when somebody hits you first, second, third, please.
No.
reply.
That case of that child is a gang up. There were two men.
Who will she face?
Who will she face? They had ganged up. So it's either I come out of this alive before we seek redress, or you know.
Okay.
But,
But
but I
then,
like what you're saying about the school also, because schools shouldn't just be money making, especially the private schools shouldn't just be money making centers.
there's no more
And they should
suspension,
be
no
able to
expulsion
discipline
anymore.
bullies, but schools do. In my kids' school, if you are a bully is expelled, like you are expelled if you bully anybody in that school. You are, it's not, there's no conversation. You are expelled, and everybody in the school knows it. So if they, of course, they will still bully, but they are doing it in a more covert. It's not that you will never have a case of that gang up, or people will gather around a child to bully that child, because the school was explicit in the fact that we do not
So, let me
permit this
talk
kind
about
of thing in our
seeing
school.
certain examples. So you have some children. I don't speak Pidgin English. So when you give birth to certain children, the way they grow, you know. When they are two, the way they command their space, the way they order. My daughter used to say, "Get my cup quick, hurry." As a 2-year-old, so we started calling her madam. You hear me say, my madam, she wants, because that's the way she will ask. So we started teaching her little courtesy. You have to add place. You have to say this. What's the magic word? What's the nice word? But the brother came naturally doing the same things. So you know from childhood, the child you need to curtail. And I remember saying to her, after apologizing to all the parents in preschool, that if this new school we're taking you, if they ever call me that you are beating somebody's child, when we get home, I will lock you over and I will beat you.
You have a daughter
You
that is
know?
vocal, so I know
No,
you did a
she's-
lot to help her.
But
Come out.
for me,
Yeah.
I needed to control certain things. And I did. The day I heard how my daughter was feeding someone in school in collaboration with her daughter, with her friend, I
you're
felt
proud.
good. Because that wasn't, she would not share.
The
She's
result
the
is
madam.
showing.
She won't share a thing. And she doesn't see whether you're in it. She don't really send you. You know, she likes her space. But she was like, I said, why have you not been eating? She said, there's a friend of mine whose stepmom has not brought her food flask. And so she doesn't go to class with food. So me and another friend had decided that we will always save up our food so that she too can have lunch. So that's the right mentality
think.
for me.
Empathy.
But I did a whole years of work. I did
To
not
get her
hate
there.
my own child for being the boss lady she is. She was born boss lady. And so that trait she will become beneficial for her in her
just
maturity.
help that to balance
Certain
it.
things God put innate in people are for their future. So you don't cancel it, you control it so that they can see other sides.
I love it.
And-
Don't beat the bully into being timid.
So that they don't bully the bully
So
for the
that
rest
the
of their life.
bully, the person who's naturally wired to be a strong, we don't want, being strong is not bullying.
we can't even really differentiate that. We
Yes,
can't
but
differentiate it.
we can differentiate it. I can express myself without making you feel less of yourself. We do it on the show every day. I give my point. I listen to you.
Yes.
I don't say what you said does not make sense because I don't agree with it. Because what you are saying makes sense to you. The moment I start imposing my thoughts and opinion on you, and belittling you for your own opinion, I'm bullying you. So but what Nima said was that we shouldn't label. Strong characters might become bullies if they are not, they don't help to manage that strength they have. Because if you are a very strong person and you say your mind, you can come across as being a bully, or you might actually be bullying. Then somebody will now come in and help you say that, no, this is not how you should behave. This is kindness, this is all of that. So I love the way we've all sort of like brought up different angles with which we can help a parent dealing with a bully as a child, not to crimp or beat that child into submission, but to help empathy in that child as well. So this is the Father of the Year award goes to
the
Yeah, I
father.
wanted to add something. You know, we underestimate the power of a hug. You find out that if you're angry or you're upset about something or you're going through a hard day and someone gives you a hug, somehow, whether it's I don't know what they call it, is it the endorphins or whatever?
Yes.
Somehow,
It's
something,
endorphins.
something just calms you down.
It releases the
It releases-
hormones.
yes.
Yeah.
So it's important to also teach children in terms of teaching children not to be bullies, like that, the power of being empathetic and giving a hug. You know, sometimes I don't know, because I think these days where people say, "Oh, boy, girl, don't touch it," when they tell children those things, but it's okay when children see themselves. Well, me, I'm a hugger. When I see people, I'm constantly hugging and hugging and hugging. So I think it's important to teach children how to hug, when you're angry, if someone upsets you, see someone going through something, let your mindset or default setting always be to give a hug. Give a hug. It always ameliorates things.
We're going to be rounding off this topic. We're still staying within the within the same theme, but we'll be changing our topic after the break. But I wanted to just conclude by saying that there's a comment that you mentioned. Maybe I rephrased it a bit. Ask yourself as a parent, what kind of adult do I want to raise?
Okay.
Because it would impact on how you raise that child. If I'm not raising a child, I'm raising an adult who is going to contribute to the society. Do I want my child to be a kind person? Do I want my child to be very vocal and expressive? So I would be imputing those attributes by words of mouth over and over again. And sometimes, you were saying that sometimes, because Martin was saying sometimes we talk, you don't see the impact. Nima has been talking, but now she's finally seeing the impact. But when she was talking that time, she probably will be wondering if it is the results showing.
I've not even seen
Don't
the impact
give
I'm
up.
finding.
You
I'm
continue
seeing
talking.
small.
As
So
parents,
don't-
don't give up
you
on
parent
the
your
talking.
child till they leave you.
Continue talking to your child, continue encouraging them, continue creating the adults you want them to be so that they will be positive contributors to societal growth and not part of the problems that we're praying against. We'll take a quick break right now. When we return, we'll go on with another topic. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.